let me make one thing perfectly clear. I will never beg for you to like my photos on Instagram. I'll never beg you to listen to a podcast or to watch a video or to subscribe or to follow or to share or recommend or any of that nonsense. But I will ask you very politely to follow me at The Alliance Blog throughout all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, you name it, that's where we're at, baby. Welcome to JCal's View. I'm your host, JCal. And man, oh man, it's been a couple of interesting weeks since the NWA 70th anniversary show. Now, the last time I talked to you guys, I was literally in Nashville. I was getting ready to check out the 10 Pounds of Gold live and in person to meet notable NWA champions like Dory Funk Jr., to meet, well, I've already met Tim Storm, so I'm not going to say Tim Storm, but how about Blue Demon Jr., which I did. To have Jack Stane shake my hand, which happened. To put my arm around Cody Rhodes and to prop him up and to tell him that he was a great champion. Yeah, all that happened. And I had a blast at the NWA 70th anniversary show. This is JCal's View. This is the journey of a journalist. This is the musings of a content creator. Now, I do fancy myself a writer, but I also make videos and do podcasts and even take ringside photography photos, all which you can find on our social media outlets. But I want to share with you guys about the 70th anniversary show because I did have a lot of fun and I did want to talk about it. Now, first of all, I did post the last episode at the 70th prior to the 70th anniversary show, and I talked about who I was going to see and all that great stuff. The next day, we went to the NWA podcast, the 10 Pounds of Podcast, hosted by Adam Rotella, hosted a meet and drink at AJ's Good Time Bar in Nashville, got a little bit of barbecue beforehand, met New Japan Stan, which was it was really cool to meet him. We hung out in Nashville, walked like 3 miles to really go next door, and to hang out with Adam Rotella, Patrick King, Larry, if you're listening, it was a pleasure meeting you. Also, we met Dawn. She showed up. Some guys from ProWrestling.com. That was really cool that they showed up. Doug and Mike from ProWrestling.com, which I still think is a great web address. I wonder how long ago they had to register that. We had a lot of beers. We talked a lot about the future of pro wrestling, specifically to the NWA. We talked a lot about where the NWA is going to go after the 70th anniversary show. So that was really cool. It was really cool to hear the insight and actually meet these people who I've been talking to on Twitter for quite some time, to actually talk to them face to face. I did pass out a bunch of business cards, not only at the meet and drink, but throughout the whole weekend. And that was a blast. The 70th anniversary was kind of a trip. And I say that because I've never been to an NWA show before that wasn't a Dave Marquez produced promotion. This was not affiliated with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, although Dave Marquez was the live producer, director. So I didn't know what to expect when I arrived on the scene. Typically, I introduce myself to whomever and find myself in the building. This time I had to get past security, which wasn't too hard because your boy Jay kind of has a professional approach. Met up with a lot of my people I consider friends, people who I've known for a long time. I got to say hi to Colt Cabana. Got to say hi to Peter Avalon, Scorpio Sky, Tim Storm. Finally got to shake hands with Jack Stane, which was awesome because I've known Jax for a long time, but he never defended the NWA World's title out in Southern California, so I never really got to see him wrestle live. But we've talked for years on Facebook, so it was great to see him in person. The 10 pounds of replica, the championship title that was gifted to me many, many years ago, added many signatures over the course of the 70th anniversary show, including Dory Funk Jr., Jeff Jarrett, Cody, Blue Demon Jr., which was special to me because I actually got to be a part of Blue Demon Jr.'s run while he was wrestling in NWA Hollywood. And that was really cool. I really appreciated that, the opportunity to get the belt signed, but to meet the former champions of the NWA. I really think the NWA knocked it out of the park with their VIP experience. No, I did not check out Billy Corgan's VIP experience. Yes, I wish I would have. I kind of regret not going to it. But I still had a great time. And again, got to meet up again with Don and Stan and Adam Rotella, Patrick, and a lot of you other NWA fans that were there. And during the course of the meet and greet, I ended up becoming Scorpio Sky's personal photographer. That was kind of fun. Sky and I go way back, so it was really cool hanging out with him. And when folks came by looking for a picture with Sky, I got to take the photos for them. Things you do to help your friends. And so that was cool. The show itself was amazing. You could check out the 10 Pounds of Gold today to get a good idea. It was just published today. Go to youtube.com/NWA to check that out. You get a good idea of what was going on at the show, how well produced it was, how well it looked live. You really got a feeling for what the crowd was like. And yes, it very much was a pro Cody crowd. Yes, the crowd was very much behind Willie Mack. You'll see how much behind the crowd was behind Jazz. You'll hear the crowd pop if we see these the shows later. Jazz wasn't included, but if some of the other matches air or show up on a future episode of 10 Pounds of Gold, you'll see how much they were behind Jazz, how much they were behind Crimson and Jack Stain, the War Kings with Animal, how much they popped for Magnum TA. I almost said Tully Blanchard. Don't know where my head's at. But the show was great. I thought it did a great job. It reintroduced the Women's Championship, crowned a new national championship, put the world title back on Nick Aldis, and really kind of set up things to come for the NWA. We'll see how that all plays out. To wrap up the night, and literally Sunday night was my last night there. I left very early Monday morning. In fact, I probably should have just slept in the airport. I got Dave Marquez asked if I could help wrangle some of the wrestlers around, so I was actually the personal taxi cab driver to Peter Avalon, Mark Vaughn, who promotes NWA, used to promote the NWA main event shows in Louisiana and Texas. Now they just go by main event. And for the first part of the trip, it was Parlo. Parlo is a really interesting guy, and if you guys haven't heard his story, he is openly gay. He had a real tough time coming out, and I mean, you could see his story. It's on YouTube if you just search for Mike Parlo. But he's a really good guy. You could tell how much he loves his family, how much he loves his husband, and just talking to him, he is a great guy. So I was really impressed in how open he was with the guys that were in the car with him about life. I guess that's what's really important about life, is experiencing it and being yourself. So it was really cool to hear his story. And then lastly, I got to drive some guys home from the post-dinner shenanigans. I did get to eat dinner with a lot of the guys that performed on the card, and sitting in the cockpit with Colt Cabana. He was my wingman on the way home, taking him back to his hotel. And I was kind of bummed out he didn't pull out the recorder and put me on his podcast. But these guys, they live these glamorous lives, you think they do, but they're just regular Joes. Every single one of them just a regular person. And it was a lot of fun to be around those guys. And I have to admit, like, coming home from the 70th anniversary show, I did kind of hit a lull. It's been kind of hard to get back into the swing of things, but we're trying. We're back. We're kicking. If you're visiting the website, alliance-wrestling.com, there's a lot more content. We have a couple more writers who have joined the team over the last few weeks. There's a lot more photos that are going up on Instagram. I've got a heck of a lot more to post from the 70th anniversary show. We're working on creating new content for the YouTube channel. That's starting to kick off. And there's a lot more going on, guys, but I can't really get into everything right now because it's all kind of up in the air. So I'm going to bid you adieu on this Monday. No, geez, it's Tuesday. If you haven't voted yet, please go out and do so. If you don't live in this country, well, then totally disregard that. But my name is J Cal. You've been listening to J Cal's View, and we'll see you at the matches.